Today we're comparing two fantastic vintage-oriented Dreadnoughts, one from Martin and one from Furch. Stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name's Chris McKee.
And I'm Cooper Greenberg.
We're here with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas, and you can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, you turn on notifications, and like our videos. If you want to support the channel, visit our spring store link below for custom swag, and check out our podcast, the Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcasts. Now, we are doing a comparison today of two very vintage-inspired guitars. One from the grand poobah of them all, that's C.F. Martin guitars that really invented the steel string guitar as we know it, and the Dreadnought shape to boot. And we wanted to compare an HD-28 with this. This is the Furch Vintage2 DSR, which is Dreadnought spruce rosewood. It's built a lot like an HD-28, so it seemed like a perfect comparison. And we are going to compare those for you, but you might notice, if you have a keen eye, you're not holding an HD-28.
Yeah, there ain't no herringbone on this bad boy. And that is because we got in our big Martin restock shipment today. Chris and I have
part
both,
of it, right?
Yeah, you know, a little bit. We also got in a nice Furch or Furch or Furch. Yeah. We got this stuff in last week. So it's like, cool, we got some great guitars.
And some of y'all have been asking
for, yeah,
like for this comparison. So.
We've been waiting for this, and so I was like, boom, let's go. We finally got them. I filmed the demos on both of these guitars. I walked out to the sales floor, and a guy walked in and said, I've been waiting on an HD-28, and it sold before we could even finish the rest of the video.
There you go.
So I'm holding a D-28, and you won't see any herringbone, and you won't see scalloping on the bracing. However, for the demo that you'll actually hear, that'll be the HD-28.
Yeah.
So, just to let you know.
And you might ask, well, so why didn't y'all just, reshoot the demos and just compare this with a D-28? And I'll tell you why. Because they're different enough that the other video makes more sense. So let's talk about it. So this is part of Furch's vintage line, which I think flies under the radar. Their color series of guitars, which are a more modern-oriented guitar collection, tends to get more of the attention. But their vintage guitars are phenomenal. I really, really like them. And they take a lot of design inspiration from Martin, and they do it in a modern approach, but with some things that I really, really like. So with this guitar, it is your classic rosewood spruce Dreadnought. It has some beautiful appointments like the herringbone, this beautiful inlay on it. Their neck joint, which we've talked about, the CNR neck joint, is a bolt-on neck. So in some ways, it's less like Martin and more like Collings and Taylor and many other companies that bolt on necks. But they also have a special alloy insert in the neck of the guitar, along with, it's a carbon fiber reinforcement with the truss rod adjustment. So you've got a dual action truss rod, carbon fiber that insert that goes in there, and then the special alloy insert that basically ensures that the neck angle stays true over time, more so than you typically have with just a wooden neck attached to body traditionally. But like an HD-28, just like with the herringbone, you've also got scalloped bracing, and that's the big thing for me. Is we need if we're going to do a playing comparison, we need to do it with a guitar that features the same body shape, the same tone wood combination, and at least similar bracing. Every company's bracing is going to be a little bit different, but going from straight braces to scallop bracing is quite a big difference. So that's what's going on with this guitar, and it features, and I should emphasize this because it's one of my favorite things, a fantastic hand-applied UV finish. It's a full pour finish that they do, and they say that it's hand-applied and hand buffed.
Yeah.
And so it's got...
And you can kind of tell looking at it too, yeah.
Yeah, it's got kind of a patina to it. It's like a semi-gloss rather than like a full gloss, and I really like it a lot. Yeah. Now, it's interesting because to look at that guitar you're holding, it's like, that's a really beautiful finish too. Yeah. And Martin has prided themselves on really having a fantastic finish and going through all those buffing stages to get it just looking right.
Yeah.
Toss-up. I can't figure out what I like more, honestly.
I really like on the Furch Vintage stuff that it's a like toner top. I love the Martin look. This is the classic with the aging toner on there. But something about that, it reminds me a lot of the Authentics that we got in. The vintage gloss kind of patina semi-gloss thing with the non-toned top kind of screams that to me. It's got the inlay on there that's a little, more Furch flair, but still classic. I love the headstock overlay. Those are open gear Gotos.
15-to-1 ratio in kind of a satin gold.
Yeah.
Really beautiful.
Just really nice. But even with the non-HD, the D-28 is still like one of the kings,
Yes.
Style 28 backstrip on there, I like. I do prefer the HD zigzag, but it's sold, so what are you going to do? Also the open gears, these are Grovers. But, there's a reason why this guitar is the one that everybody wants, because their grandparents played them and their great-grandparents played them. But it's cool to hear, not necessarily on this one, but a classic scalloped spruce rosewood Dreadnought versus something that's taken all the lessons from the classics and in some ways putting out a very different sound. Like it's super old school, exactly what you want to hear. But that one, something about it just kind of popped a little differently.
Interesting. Well, let's take a listen. So Cooper's running both of, not both of these, but the HD-28 and the Furch Vintage2 through the paces. And it's interesting because what I've noticed is there's a similarity and then there's some stark differences. See if you can hear them for yourself. Check it out. All right, so there you have it, a comparison, a actual playing comparison between the Furch Vintage2 DSR and the Martin HD-28, which just a classic, in the Martin. And like we said, it came in and it went out along with a bunch of other really high-end Martins. It's a good. I just gotta say, we do these videos for your guys' benefit. I love doing these videos, but as a dealer, we kind of exist to help find guitars homes, that's what we're all about, is helping these orphaned guitars find homes.
True.
You know, cue Sarah McLachlan right now. But when we can get a shipment of Martins and immediately a D45, D41, HD-28 and stuff start finding homes, that's a good day.
It's a good day.
So,
So I played the HD-28 first. It's such a joy to just strum an open E chord on a Martin Dreadnought. It just feels good. You feel the whole guitar vibrating. I love that feeling. So I had a really good time playing it. It's been months and months since I've gotten to play an HD-28 because they're always sold out. So
and sold out again.
Sold out again.
As of right now.
So I loved that. And then I picked this one up. I had tuned it separately earlier, so I hadn't played them really side by side yet. I strummed the same open E chord, and Josh behind the camera was like, kind of giving this look like it sounds amazing. It's got a little extra top end crisp, I think. Like it just kind of popped a little bit more. And full disclosure, I screwed up on my demo when I was playing on the fast part, and it was Josh's words that I was just too excited because it was sounding good, and then I tripped over myself as I always do. But this guitar.
The truth, should we tell everybody the truth right now? So I've actually been instructing Cooper in how to play guitar for a long, long time.
Years.
And to improve his ego, what we do is we shoot one note at a time and then edit it all later in post.
Quantize.
So that's why you guys think he's so amazing.
That's true. It's all smoke and mirrors. This one, the neck feels a little different.
Yeah.
You know,
it's kind of a little flatter. I don't know. It's got like it's almost like it's not a V.
Yeah.
But there's something reminiscent.
Yeah.
It's not even a soft V. It's like there was once a V here. It no longer lives
Former
here.
V. Yeah, it's a really nice feeling guitar. It was one of those things, like many great guitars, when you really strum it, the whole thing vibrates and you feel all of that resonance. And something about the finish too, like it's so nice. It feels so good, like just on your arms and stuff as you're playing it, that I just really enjoy playing this guitar. I have wanted an HD or a D-28 for a long time. There's gonna come a day when it's just like, all right, here's the one. It came in. We don't have a waiting list of 10 people that I'm gonna jump the line on. I'm gonna have one of these guitars one day. But we had a Vintage 3 DSR. That one also sold. All the vintage stuff from Furch. I mean, this one is really nice, kind of straightforward comparison. But the Vintage 3 stuff, a little bit fancier appointments, also an incredible guitar. The Vintage 1s, very stripped down and simple, also great. I do think that this is kind of the PSA to check out the blue, red, yellow, all the color series. The Vintage is kind of where it's at if you want something more old school.
The other cool thing about Furch, it's an interesting brand. If you're not familiar with them, we've done a bunch of videos on Furch, and they are built in the Czech Republic. And, they're phenomenally done instruments, but there's also some flexibility that the company has that I find is cool. So if you want to order like a Vintage 2, but you want to change things up a little bit, it's easy to do. If you want to, order a red baritone, you can, that kind of stuff. And that's very, very cool. One of the benefits, I think, of working with a company like that. So
yeah, they're really nice guys to work with, and we've had several customers do kind of from the ground up. They call them rainbow builds.
Yeah.
If you're anything like us, you like to go on guitar websites and build your own guitars just for fun. The list of options available are insane, and they do have a lot of woods that many American manufacturers right now are not able to get a hold of. I mean, and those are temporary shortages, but a lot of people are having a hard time finding cocobolo right now. They got cocobolo, they got all kinds of figured mahogany, all that good stuff. So we've had some people build really cool guitars, and then it's kind of up to you, whatever you want. They ship it to us, and it's really cool.
And it's great to have there is kind of a camaraderie here between these two builders, I think, in some ways, because C.F. Martin is Christian Frederick Martin. That was a European guitar or violin maker, who immigrated and started building guitars here initially in the Stauffer design, and then came up with his own designs. And then kind of in the reverse, you now have a European builder that's taken inspiration from Martin and Taylor and others, and have incorporated into their building practices and created fantastic guitars here in the 21st century. And that's just really cool. Just kind of think about how the history of violin making being so strong in Vienna, and how it eventually informed the founder of this company, and how that kind of goes backwards. So very cool. Both very good guitars. If you gave me money right now to buy either one of them, and I could only choose one, that'd be a tough deal, I think.
Yeah.
Mostly because someone just bought the HD-28.
Exactly.
So that's our breakdown of these two guitars. I'm curious to get y'all's opinion of what you heard in the demo between these two guitars. What did you hear from the HD-28 and the Furch Vintage2? And also, if it were your money, where would you lean to? Would you want to go with the established company, that the Grand Poupon, as I said, with that HD-28? Or would you try that European kind of upstart builder who's really making some impressive guitars? So people vote with their dollars. I'm curious to hear what you would say. So, and if you're new to our channel, what should they do, Cooper?
You're going to want to subscribe to the channel, all right? And then you're going to want to turn the notifications on, because we'll get a guitar, and before we can even finish the video, it's sold out. But we'll try to inform you as soon as possible when stuff comes out.
It's actually a good reason to be on our email list and other stuff, and just check out our website all the time, which is alamomusic.com.
Oh, yeah.
So if you are new to the channel, do those things, and keep coming back for more. We'll see you next time.